We're live. Happy Saturday to you. Good morning to you, and welcome to your morning tonic on Breakdown newspaper. Well, the Breakdown newspaper review. The station is 32 FM 94.9. It's the 9th day in the month of October 2021. I am Olutayo Ogunade, and I have some papers right here. Of course, just because you need to know, we treat you to the trending stories, developments across Nigeria and beyond. We'll start from Premium Times, and my very first headline from Premium Times this morning. Okay, I'm trying to really get that. Well, let me start from Punch newspaper. WHO announced new Ebola case in DR Congo 5 months after last outbreak. A documentary on Buhari administration to air Saturday at 7 p.m. Support knocks for Tiwa Savage over intimacy video. Fans condemn blackmailer. Man uses boy as collateral to steal 2 bags of rice from Lagos shop after paying 3.1 million ransom to kidnappers. Our wedding will now be low-key, about to wed Ekiti couple. Some more from Punch newspaper. 2022 budget. Federal government ignores Rivers. Lagos VAT row targets 316 billion naira. Zoning has come to stay, say Southern APC chieftains. Tinubu returns to Nigeria after 3-month UK medical trip. Caliber politicians seeking 2023 presidency can't save Nigeria. Pandev. Caliber of politicians seeking 2023 presidency can't save Nigeria. Pandev. Federal government allocates 5.9 trillion naira to education, health, defense, infrastructure. And from business, South wants oil derivation share increased to 50%. Now I go to Premium Times. Despite promising rule of law, Bauer's AFCC sticks to crude tactics of hotel home invasions. Insecurity forcing us to borrow more, Nigerian government says. Insecurity forcing us to borrow more, Nigerian government says. Global food prices hit 10-year peak. FAO. Exclusive bandits receive ransom from Sokoto monarch. Hold on to victims. Let's see some more from Premium Times. Moghalu joins ADC, declares plan to run for president. Moghalu joins ADC, declares plan to run for president. Nigeria receives 501,600 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine from France. Will tourism advance Africa's socio-economic narrative? That's the question there. More headline from Premium Times. Court grants ex-AGF Adoke permission to travel abroad for medical checkup. Nigeria's Enabulele emerges World Medical Association's president-elect. Harbor Indian hemp sellers risk losing your property to federal government. NDLEA hashtag EndSARS. Panel urges federal government to redeem judgment sums to police brutality victims. From Daily Trust, vigilante group kills imam, 10 others in Sokoto. Villagers killed, monarch's palace razed as angry soldiers raid Imo community. We'll take that story later. Bandits release 5 more students of Kaduna Baptist School. Finance Minister, revenue is Nigeria's problem, not debt. Guns, bullets recovered from bandits in Kaduna. You can see the picture here in Daily Trust. NNPC must be transformed to a global oil company. Buhari, NNPC must be transformed to a global oil company. Buhari. Femi Adesina, Abaribe ought to be cooling off in prison. All right, still from Daily Trust. Finance Minister, I took that earlier. Angry fans rip into Super Eagles after shocking loss to unknown CAR. NNPC must be transformed. I took that also. UK to recognize Nigeria's COVID-19 vaccine certificate from the 11th of October. Boko Haram nightlife returns to Banki town 7 years after. Okay, away from Daily Trust, we go to the Guardian newspaper. Paternity leave pressure shifts to state governors. 2022 budget, petrol, electricity subsidies to go. 2022 budget, petrol, electricity subsidies to go. Be alert, vigilant, Army Chief charges troops. PDP asked court to remove Ayade, deputy from office. My hope in better Nigeria unshakable. Obasanjo declares 2.5 million voters to elect new Anambra governor, says INEC. From the sports side, Fury versus Wilder, who wins trilogy bout in Las Vegas. Stop toying with Nigerians' emotions, sports editors tell Eagles. Still from the Guardian newspaper, Dari kicks against Akala's zoning committee. Okay, do we have more? Yes, let's see one more before we go on a short break. I will just go on a short break now. When I return, I'll engage my analyst for today. Of course, I will look at these headlines together. I'll be back in a bit. Please stay tuned.
To more efficiency.
Right, apologize for the mix-up there. It's still the Breakdown newspaper review reach you live from 32FM 94.9. We are live on YouTube, 32FM 949 Ibadan. I have Austin Idumu with me online. Good morning to you, Austin Idumu. Hello, good morning, Austin.
Good morning, good morning, Tayo.
Great, good to have you. All right.
Thank you for having me.
I'll take my very first headline here from Daily Trust. Villagers killed, Monarch's Palace razed as angry soldiers raid Imo community. At least 3 people have been killed, while 15 houses, including the palace of the traditional ruler of Boshi Nzobe community in Oguta local government area of Imo, have been razed. Witnesses blamed soldiers on reprisal for the incident. The soldiers were said to be angered by the killing of 2 of their colleagues by youth of Zobe. A witness said youths protesting the killing of a young man identified as Iheure, a native of Zombe Oguta local government, was suspected to have been killed by soldiers. Justin, villagers killed, Monarch's Palace razed as angry soldiers raid Imo community.
Yes, it is actually uncalled for. This is the scenario you have when the areas are over-militarized, when soldiers that are supposed to be in the barracks now find their ways in the streets of our community as a result of insecurity. It's an unfortunate situation. A boy was earlier killed, and the villagers suspected that probably soldiers killed particular fellow, and they also had to take laws into their hands. We have said this repeatedly and times without number two, that two wrongs cannot make a right. If such a situation happens, what should be done is to report to appropriate authority and call for justice. But the problem we have found ourselves in Nigeria is that you hardly can find justice on any situation. That is the reason why jungle justice is almost the order of the day. And when we give occasions to jungle justice, it gets to a situation of anarchy, and that is highly condemnable. The incident that happened in Imo is regrettable. However, too, when two soldiers lost their life, which we also condemn, soldiers are supposed to be more professional and ensure that arrest is made and people are handed over to appropriate law enforcement agency, rather than summarily invading the village, shooting and killing people and setting houses ablaze. This is despicable and barbaric. It shouldn't even be happening in the 21st century. So it is neither here nor there. The villagers were at fault to have taken laws into their hands to kill those soldiers, two soldiers for that matter. The soldiers too, investigation should have been conducted. Even in extreme cases, you are supposed to arrest people and hand them over to the police, rather than invading the community and also using an act of illegality to right whatever wrong. So the situation is highly regrettable on both sides. Soldiers are not supposed to be involved in reprisal attack, especially when it affects civil populace, when it affects civilians. What should be done is let the appropriate thing be done, then you call for justice, rather than summarily taking the laws into your hands. So let the relevant authorities step into the matter and address it frontally in such a way that at the end of the day, peace is restored to the community and justice is done for those who may have lost their loved ones.
All right.
Like I said earlier, it's quite unfortunate.
All right, still from INT'L Trust, gunmen suspected to be members of the outlawed Yan Sakai, a vigilance group in Sokoto State, have killed 11 persons, including an imam at Mamande village, local government area of Sokoto State. Reporters gathered that the victims died on the spot, while 4 persons who sustained gunshot injuries were taken to a hospital by the local government council for treatment. You must have seen this story too.
Yes, I saw the story. That is another report, 10 cases of killing. For how long are we going to continue like this? Outlaw vigilante group also trying to take laws into their hands. That is the reason why we continue to have a situation where military will have no option than to stay with us, even in the street, which most of the time it leads to fracas. So that is also regrettable. We are supposed to talk more about development in the 21st century. But what we find is a situation where there will be killings here and there. So let the government in Sokoto State and relevant stakeholders come together to nip this in the bud. The rate at which people lose their life in Nigeria is becoming too alarming. People die so seamlessly as a result of insecurity, non-state actors taking laws into their hands. This is highly regrettable. The government really need to fill the vacuum, because we have a lot of governed spaces A lot of people who are not relevant authority are taking laws into their hands as a result of the inability of the government to better police the country. So it's also regrettable and unfortunate.
Okay, away from that, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Dr. Zainab Ahmed, says lack of adequate revenue to finance both human and capital infrastructure should be the major worry of Nigeria, not the current debt it owes.
Yes, I think the minister is playing to the gallery, and I begin to wonder for how long will this woman stay before the president will summon courage to remove her. This woman has displayed high level of incompetence as far as her office is concerned. Some people have even opined that perhaps she is occupying a wrong office. Most of the time, she brings up arguments to justify their spade and wanton borrowing, arguments that are not justiciable. To look at it that, oh, what we should worry about is revenue. Who should worry about revenue? Is it myself or the government? Is it myself or the finance minister? Is it Tayo or the president that should worry about revenue? We have said it that in terms of budgetary threshold for borrowing, not only that we have exceeded what we are supposed to have, but we are recklessly borrowing without any hope of for the common man in the budget in terms of infrastructure. So all of this should stop. Let the government look at it. The truth is that you don't need to go to Harvard Business School for you to know that we are borrowing recklessly as a country. The capital component of the budget hardly performs. But we have a situation where we continue to pile up recurrence. I don't know whether you have seen other breakdown and analysis of the projects, of the budget. You look at it critically that a lot of funds were still allocated to waste. Presidential travel, Aso Rock rent, feeding allowance, generator allowance, and all of this. For how long are we going to continue in this path? If you don't have money as an individual, the first thing you do is to look at your expenditure. Cut down your expenditure. Why is it that year in, year out, when we present budgets, it is the capital component that will always suffer? We have gotten to the threshold where we spend larger percentage of our revenue on debt servicing, not even debt repayment. And the finance minister is coming out to tell us that we should worry about revenue, not about debt. If you are borrowing more than what you can pay, you are borrowing more than what you have.
It's looking
it means
like
that you are borrowing.
you're biting more than you can chew.
That is the issue. You are putting the future of the entire country into jeopardy. The president cumulatively have borrowed over 21 trillion. That is alarming. How can we cope? And those in government still collect their allowances. We still vote money for furniture. We still vote money for things that are trivial in nature. Can't the president say that, oh, because of the paucity of funds, I'm going to cut down my travel expenses? Every component of recurrent in the budget has increased in one way or the other. Where do we then go from there? A budget of over 16 trillion, and at the end of the day, we will not have more than 1.4 that will go to critical infrastructure, and we call that a country, and the finance minister will come out to tell me that I should worry about revenue to debt, not debt to GDP. This is the argument that they have even put forward. GDP alone cannot pay the debt. You need revenue to be able to pay your debt. And today, debt servicing alone, not repayment, debt servicing alone is taking over 90% of the entire revenue that we have.
Now, Austin,
how do we explain to those in government that we are in a crisis situation?
Well, obviously, the Buhari government and the current finance minister is failing to come up with, some narrative that connects the dots, looking at what Nigerians expect. But how come we are so bothered, and those who are really in charge are not so bothered about some of the, some of the concerns of the larger Nigeria?
Yes, they don't have the interest of the people at heart. You look at those in government, they live a larger than life attitude. Look at the money being expended on other items in the budget that does not affect the life of the people positively. That is always the argument. Government officials.
Hello, Austin. Hello. All right, I'll try to reconnect with Austin Adumo. I'm sure he's still there on the line.
That they need to borrow because we are in a state of insecurity. Who created those level of insecurity in the country? Are there factors that you can solve? Are there no problems that you can solve? Look at food prices in the market today. In the next fiscal year, there is nothing for the common man in the country. The budget is all about those in government. It's all about servicing the opulence, the larger than life lifestyle and reckless spending of those in government.
All right, let's even
members
agree.
of the National Assembly and members of the executive.
Austin, maybe we can agree without, considering the fact that, maybe revenue is our problem. But what are we doing in specific terms to encourage our revenue, all right, or to balloon our revenue, in this country at the moment?
Tayo, if revenue is our problem, as an individual, let's bring it down. If you don't have money or you are not making as much as you are making before, what do? Do you need to go to school before you start cutting down on some of your expenses? If you are the type that used to take bottled water and now you have lost your job, money is no longer coming, what do? You rather change to pure water or well water. If you are the type that when you drive, you used to own AC 24/7. Now that money is no longer coming, what do? You reshape yourself.
It's called lifestyle adjustment.
To adjust to current economic reality. But those in government, those who have visited London, for example, because somebody has been hospitalized in London, does that suggest that we are a poor country? We had a wedding recently. Does that suggest that we are a poor country? Then at the end of the day, we'll go to the United Nations to beg for debt forgiveness when we are still borrowing more at the detriment of the larger percentage of the people. This is what we are talking about. What has the government done? One of the major steps that should be taken to shore up our revenue profile is to summon political courage to cut down the cost of governance. Cost of governance is the major bottleneck that is impeding progress in the country. Because at the end of the day, when you remove all the recurrent components, little or nothing is left for infrastructure. And it is infrastructure that when you invest into the real sector of the economy, that impacts the...
Hello, Austin.
Revenue. How do you do that? I think about 2 weeks ago or last week thereabout, there was a report that tax waiver or import waiver has got over 2 trillion in the last.
Well, Austin, the line is not so clear from where you are. You need to find a convenient place. In the meantime, let's quickly go on a commercial break. When I return, I'll continue with Austin and we'll still take some headlines before we get to feedback later on.
ṣé ilẹ̀ lélẹ̀ ní àbòdò ẹja ó yé mi náà lẹ́nu nígbà mo débẹ̀ ń jẹta mo ní wọ́n á tún fi hàn wọ́n náà wo ìgbà tí ọkọ̀ ta rẹ̀ fún mi wájú ọlọ́run àtẹ̀yàn kò sí nǹkan kan tọ́jọ́ mọ́ báyìí lórí rẹ̀ o inú ẹ̀rùn lọ́rọ̀ àánú wọn. inú ẹ̀rùn mọ́ra. àbájọ ọgbà àgbọ̀njù lọ fẹ́ pa ọ́. mo ti ní kó já lọ sọ́dọ̀ Dynabix Homes and Properties. àwọn gẹ́gẹ́ ní ànilẹ̀ tó jójúlówó tí kì í ṣe nù rà bí irú ilé ìtọ́ra yìí. ajé o.
Dynabix Homes and Properties ló kórè.
àwa là ń ta Treasure Estate tí wà ní ìdó ológun ẹrúwé 650,000 naira ní plọ̀tì kan. Victory Estate phase 1 alábàtà mọ́níyà ń bàdàn 800,000 naira ní plọ̀tì kan o. Victory Estate phase 2 alábàtà mọ́níyà ń bàdàn bákan náà 850,000 naira ní plọ̀tì kan o. àǹfààní wà fún sísan díẹ̀díẹ̀ láàrin oṣù mẹ́ta nílé iṣẹ́ Dynabix Homes and Property. àmẹ́ máa wá sílé iṣẹ́ wa fún àsọjẹ́ tó ń ti àjọsọpọ̀. eléyìí tó gún mọ́ fún sísanwó ọ̀hún. ẹni tó bá sanwó lẹ́ẹ̀kan náà gbé tán ó máa gba báàgì símẹ́ǹtì 5. a sì tún ṣe corner piece fún lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. Dynabix Homes and Property a wà ní Primetime Plaza ọbalẹ́sìn lọ́yẹ̀ phase 2 lójú ọ̀nà tó lọ sí free Ìbàdàn 0904 779 7352 0818 841 8137.
ó fẹ́ bẹ́gbẹ́ pé kó láwùjọ àwọn kòsíkòsí gbogbo ìgbà kó sì máa gbọ́ bùkátà pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn. ẹgbẹ́ alájẹsẹ́kù multilevel marketing cooperative investment credit society limited ladò bá ní ìmọ̀tòṣì tí ń bá ní ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀la nílànà káràkátà àwọn kò ṣeé mọ̀ ní ojoojúmọ́ bíi herbal food supplement àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. bẹ́ẹ̀ lè tó ẹ̀yáwó ọlọ́kan ọ̀jọ̀kan dúró dè ọ́ bó ṣe ń darapọ̀ mẹ́gbẹ́ alájẹsẹ́kù multilevel marketing tí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá sì darapọ̀ mọ́ wa pẹ̀lú owó yín ó máa jèrè tabua lóṣooṣù. bákan náà ni gbogbo ẹni tó bá dókòwò pẹ̀lú wa láti sin yìí ló máa gbẹ̀bùn fáànù jẹnẹrétọ̀ tẹlifíṣàn àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀. èyí wà fájọyọ̀ bá a ṣe ń pín ọdún kan lóṣù October ọdún tá a wà yìí. ẹ kàn sí multilevel marketing ní health concern building lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ MRS filling station nítòsí Bishop Phillips Academy Iwo Road Ìbàdàn. àtẹ̀kálẹ̀ iṣẹ́ wa ní Stanbic Bank building Niger West area Challenge Ìbàdàn pé 090 5000 4816 090 5000 4816.
The task of nation building must not be left to politicians. The people must play their roles. They must vote. They monitor governance. They must insist on good governance. And yes, political talk on radio just got better in Ibadan and the Southwest as 32 FM presents The Podium. The Podium will feature unraveling interviews, incisive analysis of political events, and exclusive reports of developments in the political circles. Every Saturday at 9 a.m., the microphone will be with the guests in the studio as it will be with you too. The Podium, the platform created for every citizen to have a voice.
FM 94.9 Break It On News Paper Review. Austin is still on the line. Austin, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right. Tinubu returns from UK. National leader of All Progressives Congress, APC, and former Lagos State Governor Asiwaju Bola Tinubu returned to the country yesterday after a medical trip to the United Kingdom. His spokesperson, Tunde Rahman, confirmed the return of the APC stalwart last night.
Yes, we wish him well. He has been away in London for the past for over 3 months, and his apartment in London has become like a mecca of sorts to a lot of high-profile Nigerian politicians. We wish him well. That is all we can say for now. But there is nothing that has been done to ensure that there is no medical tourism. People still go out of the country. It's rumored to nurse presidential ambition come 2023. And a lot of people are bothered that, if our current president has a private suite in a London hospital, and the one that will take over from him has been in a private suite in a London hospital, where do we go from here? Of course, it's a matter of time, and it's a choice that the people will have to make. But we wish him the very best as far as his health is concerned. And we also wish him a happy return to Nigeria.
All right, I have this headline here from one of the papers. Tinubu already has 12 million votes. Swagger.
Yes, Swagger member are not the only ones that will vote. Let him first of all contend with winning the ticket on the level at the level of his party primary before we talk about how much vote he can garner across the country. Members of Swagger are not the only one that will vote. It is Nigeria that will vote, except if they believe that they are going to shut us out, that, the vote of the people will not count. They will sit somewhere and write the figures. And that will not work. They should get that very straight. Let them, first of all, continue and contend with winning the presidential ticket at the level of their primary. Our politicians are incurable optimists, and supporters too. Even when they know that a candidate, for example, will lose an election, they will be calling the person Your Excellency or Honorable. They know within them that this fellow is not that popular. Of course, I'm not saying that Tinubu cannot win. I'm not saying that it's not popular. Whatever they have said is political, and it is their personal opinion.
I may want to look at that statement, Austin, side by side, the merit of our electoral process. Are they saying he has sufficient support from both the north and the southern part of the country? Or what do you say about, already saying he has about 12 million votes already and all that? I have nothing against
yes, it's
but hey, come on, the process, that's what we're talking about.
Yes, the process is always faulty. That is why we have canvassed that, let's reduce to the barest minimum the level of human interference, so that at the end of the day, the credibility of our election will be what we can vouch for. But some people are hell-bent that, of course, they are not going to do that, because they know that on a good day, they can be able to win a free and fair election. So the statement that I just come out now is suggestive of the fact that the people will does not really matter. Because if election is still in 2023, campaign has not even started, a candidate has not even emerged at the level of their primary, and a group is coming out to say that somebody who announces a presidential ambition already has over 12 million votes. It shows that they do not need the people. It is the same thing as just going ahead to declare such a fellow as the president of Nigeria. Like you said, we are not talking about him as a person. We are looking at the entire process, because this is not the time such comment will be coming out. We have seen candidates contesting for election. They will tell you that, which means that the will of the people does not count. Whether you like it or not, whether you vote or not, we will surely emerge victorious, which suggests that whether people go out to vote or not, that is why we must all continue to clamor for this electronic transmission of results. We must inculcate that into our electoral process. It can work in Nigeria. Let us not say a process that has not been tried cannot work. We need to try it first. During the time of the card reader, it reduced cases of ballot box snatching to the barest minimum. So if we include electronic transmission of results, which means that right at the voting point, people will already know a candidate that has won that particular election. Because the major problem for manipulation or avenue for manipulation is in between the voting point and the collation center. That is when you have a different result entirely. People will sell result sheets, and at the end of the day, they will manipulate the process. So let us strengthen our electoral process by deploying technology. INEC has expressed readiness. The National Assembly, in the harmonized committee, let's see whatever they will come up with. The House of Representatives passed the bill that election results should be transmitted where and when practicable. But the Senate has come out to say, no, we don't want that, because we are afraid we can't lose the election because we are not so popular. Let the NCC determine how practicable transmission of results could be, subject to approval of the National Assembly. So why then do we have INEC? NCC and INEC should team up to form. NCC and the Senate should have team up to form an agency that will conduct the election, because the law empower INEC to come up with innovations that will enhance the credibility of any election. And simply that is what INEC is doing. Because after the 2019 general election, when we had the major setback compared to what we had in 2015, INEC chairman had to cry to the National Assembly with an SOS that please come and help me. We need to strengthen our election. We can't continue to have high level of litigation as a result of non-accessibility of election results. So we need to deploy technology. Now the National Assembly is playing to the gallery, because they know that when we conduct a very credible election, a lot of people who do not have business being there will not emerge. So let's continue to push for that until we get to a level where we reduce human interference substantially to be able to vote for our election, where a loser in the election will admit that I have been thoroughly beaten and congratulate the winner of such election.
All right, let's look at Premium Times just before we open the phone lines. A former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, INT'L on Friday in Abuja, announced his decision to join the African Democratic Congress, ADC, to pursue his presidential ambition in 2023.
Yes, it's a welcome development. When I saw that, I was elated. I can't imagine how glad I would be if somebody like Kingsley Moghalu emerged as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I want people to rally around him. Let him do. Of course, ADC is a more credible platform when you compare to YPP. It's like coming to the mainstream. Now you need to reach out across the country, because whether we like it or not, politics is a game of number. Election is also a game of number. And power is not served a la carte. You can't get it by fiat. You can't say because it's my turn and just get it like that. How I wish people will rally around them. We have some of our callers too, our admirers, that believe our presidency should go to the Southeast. I hope they will not go and vote for PDP or APC. They should vote for ADC, which is Kingsley Moghalu. Of course, I'm not campaigning for him, but I know for sure that Kingsley Moghalu is a credible and viable candidate. He can do it, but the platform matters.
Can he spend the money?
Let him go. That is another issue, because Balarabe Musa told the likes of Showore that visited him sometimes ago that before you become Nigerian president, you either must have stolen from the treasury of the country, or you have friends who have stolen from the treasury, because you need to be a money bag. When I say money bag, I mean money bag. Don't forget the presidential spending for a campaign has been increased from 5 billion to 15 billion. That is like times 3. So you need to do more to be able to get that. That is what we are canvassing for. If as president campaigning for election, you don't know whether you are going to win, you need to garner 15 billion to be able to spend on election that is not certain, then how can we preach good governance at the end of the day? Because those who must have donated to that campaign will be patronized at the end of the day when the government is formed. So we should reduce the level of monetization in our elections. If Kingsley Moghalu is a credible candidate, like I said earlier, help can come.
All right.
Go around.
Okay. Austin,
and ensure.
Go on, Austin. Go on.
Yes, so that he will sell his candidacy to people. At the end of the day, let's just hope that people will vote for credibility above the option of money.
All right. Okay, hang on the line. We'll go on another break. When we return, we'll take calls. But the lines to call to drop your comment on the program, 0705 5949, 009 700949. I'll be back in a bit.
ṣé ilẹ̀ lélẹ̀ ní àbúrò ẹja ó yé mi náà lẹ́nu nígbà mo débẹ̀ ń jẹta mo ní wọn á tún fi hàn wọ́n náà ìgbà táwọn kan ta rẹ̀ fún mi wájú ọlọ́run àtẹ̀yàn kò sí nǹkan kan tó jọ mọ́ báyìí lórí rẹ̀ o inú ẹ̀rùn lọ́rọ̀ àánú wọn. inú ẹ̀rùn mọ́ra. àbájọ ọgbọ́n àgbọ̀njù lọ fẹ́ pa ọ́. mo ti ní kó já lọ sọ́dọ̀ Dynabix Homes and Properties. àwọn gẹ́gẹ́ ní ànilẹ̀ tó jójú lówó tí kì í ṣe nù rà bí irú ilé ìtọ́ra yìí. ajé o.
Dynabix Homes and Properties ló kórè.
àwa là ń ta Treasure Estate tí wà ní ìdó ológun ẹrúwé 650,000 naira ní plọ̀tì kan. Victory Estate phase 1 alábàtà mọ́níyà ń bàdàn 800,000 naira ní plọ̀tì kan o. Victory Estate phase 2 alábàtà mọ́níyà ń bàdàn bákan náà 850,000 naira ní plọ̀tì kan o. àǹfààní wà fún sísan díẹ̀díẹ̀ láàrin oṣù mẹ́ta nílé iṣẹ́ Dynabix Homes and Property. àmẹ́ máa wá sílé iṣẹ́ wa fún àsọjẹ́ tó ń ti àjọṣọpọ̀. eléyìí tó gún mọ́ fún sísanwó ọ̀hún. ẹni tó bá sanwó lẹ́ẹ̀kan náà gbé tán ó máa gba báàgì símẹ́ǹtì 5. a sì tún ṣe corner piece fún lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. Dynabix Homes and Property a wà ní Prime Time Plaza ọbalẹ́sirọ́yẹ́ phase 2 lójú ọ̀nà tó lọ sí free Ìbàdàn 0904-779-7352 0818-841-8137.
egbògi kan ti délẹ̀ yìí egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ ṣe ni ó dára fẹ̀jẹ̀ gidi gan Veneto cleanser ló ń jẹ́ o. Veneto cleanser ló ń jẹ́ o.
ojú rẹ̀ ṣàǹjọ̀lọ̀ lójoojúmọ́ kí làṣírí ẹ wà rí.
Veneto cleanser ni.
já mi sí ọ̀rẹ́.
Veneto cleanser egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ṣe tí bádọ̀tí ara wọ̀ yá ìjà rẹ̀ wọ́n mọ́lẹ̀ ṣe wọ́n yẹbẹyẹbẹ. inú tó ń kú tó ń dàrú gbòdògbòdò kò bára rẹ̀ èrí inú ẹ̀jẹ̀. amọ̀nà ti dé o. Veneto cleanser egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ṣe tí a fi ewé àti egbò ṣe ní ọ̀nà ti gbàlódé. NAFDAC fòǹtẹ̀lù MA1 Nigeria Limited ni wọ́n gbé Veneto cleanser jáde. a wà ní nọ́mbà 17 ọba akínyẹlé off Adeogun Street Aláàfin Avenue Olúyọ̀lé Estate Ring Road Ìbàdàn. telephone 08034051533 fún títà àti rírà. ìwọ náà darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Veneton cleanser àmọ̀tẹ́kùn egbòogi tí ń ya gbogbo kòkòrò inú ẹ̀jẹ̀ wẹ́lẹ́wẹ́lẹ́.
Welcome back from the commercial break. Time now to take your calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
My name is Adeshu Yamalola from UI.
Okay.
Now, back to the killings by soldiers in the east. Day before yesterday, 2 brothers, they went to deposit the corpse of their mother in the cemetery. And on their way back, soldiers killed the 2 brothers. See what happened yesterday. And where I'm going now is that I want hope in Sodima to understand this, that it was because of his legal imposition on the Imo people that caused the journey of this thing across the eastern land. And I want you to know that by Santi and Buhari, they are out of power. Igbo people or Eastern people, they will deal with him. That's the best of today.
All right, Deshui, thank you. 009 7000 949 0705 5000 9492. Drop your to join the conversation. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Michael calling from Bodija.
Okay, Mike.
Yes, talking about with Mogalu, the ADC. I was expecting the Austin to tell the man the truth.
What's the truth?
The man, yes, the man is making a very wrong move. There is no way you defeat the current military political party in this country today. You don't have the structure, even though you are so rich. The governors influence the political party in this country. And the 2 leading political parties are there, they have the governors. I was expecting Mogalu to join either the PDP and the APC. Well, what do you want? You want to change government. And the only way you can get to the After Work is through these 2 parties. God bless you.
Thank you, Michael. Austin. Hello, Austin.
Hello, Taya, I'm with you.
Mike feels he didn't tell Mogalu the truth. He said with the ADC, he still cannot clinch that office unless he joins either the APC.
Of course, he can't imagine that. Of course, not as if he was not told the truth. ADC is a more credible platform, like I said earlier, compared to YPP. Of course, you and I know that PDP or APC cannot give Kingsley Mogalu a presidential ticket. It could be in ADC, and at the end of the day, make it true. Of course, it's very dicey for him. We must say that.
Right.
But I emphasize the more on the credibility and the personality of Kingsley Moghalu to deliver.
Good morning, comrade.
Good morning, Austin. It's quite unfortunate, Tayo. The raid of the military in Imo community is what some of us have predicted that will happen. And the killing going on in Imo, I want to call on Major General Muhammadu Buhari Aya. So please take it gently with the Southeasterners. Because I understand that the military will not comply to respect the fundamental rights of the people. As my friend Austin said, may God bless us over here. He said they're supposed to be in the barracks. And I call on all stakeholders to please raise their voice high on Major General Muhammadu Buhari to withdraw military from the Southeast. Unless he is truly patriotic and is not sectional, he should listen to the voice of Nigeria. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, Dayo. Have a nice day all.
Thank you, comrade. 0705 500949. I also feel that it could be final, saying that the military will not respect the rule of engagement. Yes, maybe they've not done well. They have professionals too in that force. But can only appeal and also charge them to do the needful. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning. This is Kazin.
All right.
The same ones who said the military, take military to the north, and the military has been here in the north for 10 years, now more than 10 years, killing them in the north. But now, just less than 1 year, they are in the east, and we're already trying. When are we stopping this sentiment? That is my question. Thank you.
All right. Austin, sentiment.
Yeah. Yes, Kola will always talk about sentiment. That's the way. We'll continue to do our best until Nigeria becomes a safer place to live in. Until people will get to a level where they will readily find food on their table without having to die
Austin, we have a caller.
needless deaths.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
What's your name, sir?
This is Olu from LLA.
All right.
You see, the issue of that soldier and those guys, what I read about it is that the crisis started from bunkering side. That both the soldiers and the civilians were doing bunkering. So it was there they had a disagreement. So if that is true, then it exposed the level of the indiscipline in our military. You understand me? It's not something of all this katakata that is happening. It's about bunkering. So we must get that right. Then coming to the issue of the Yan Sakai. The Yan Sakai, the outside children that are opposing those guys. And if you read that story well, you will read that they said the only offense of that madam is that he is a full animal. So the government needs to look at that side and do something very urgently. Then finally, our Minister of Finance that graduated at the age of 18, I don't think the woman is competent. Good morning.
Thank you, Olu, for your submission. Competence of the finance minister. Back again on the conversation. Who knows? They say she's shy and unassuming, but she loves the office. And Mr. President has not seen anything wrong in having Zainab Ahmed there as the finance minister. Hello, good morning. Yes, sir.
This is okay. Austin, good morning, wherever you are. Tayo, first, I want to say, with all due respect to the finance minister, I think she's the most incompetent minister I've ever seen. With all due respect.
What do you see?
Tayo, it's so funny. Even hearing the last thing she just talked about now, she's always trying to give excuse for failures. We started with the first one she talked about. When she told us, she said we borrowed our way out of recession. Please, the recession, as far as I'm concerned, started in 2016. Tayo, up till now, we have not left it. A Congo of beans is 1,500, which you are aware of. Life is not really easy. So how have we left that very place? These are the questions. Then the next one she just said, was it yesterday? It leaves a lot of room to question. Is it that we are comfortable with her making us to suffer like this? Is it that we are okay with suffering? For God's sake, we shouldn't continue like this. Good morning, my brother Austin.
Thank you. Austin Adumo.
Yeah. Hello, Tayo.
I can hear you, Austin. Okay, let me take this call then. Hello. 009-7000-949-0705 5000-949. Hello.
Hello, Tayo.
Yes, sir.
Tayo, okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are talking as Minister for Finance. This is the only question engineering our economy, which is not competent. We have competent people around that. If you have help our house in budgeting, it's not the only person doing the budget for Nigeria. That's number one. Number two, they said suspected soldier killed the boy. They suspect the soldier. Why killing the soldier? It's very unfortunate the way we do things in Nigeria. I condemn the soldier destroying that community. But our youth should be very careful. That's the way they did in Benue. Killing soldiers that want to help them in community clashes. Our youth should be very, very careful. Have a nice time.
All right. Thank you. 009-7000-949. Destination time is 7. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Please, I want to talk about the issue of Magalu.
Please turn down the volume on your radio. Hello.
Why must it come to the APC or people?
Sorry. Please, when you call us, turn down the volume on your radio. We're having this feedback from your end. Could please return it before the end of the program. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, Tayo.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. Is that John?
Awesome. Good morning. Now, Tayo, I hope they have released the queue at Alago. Abi?
It's been released.
Now, what comes out of it? Did you see how our soldiers have become so low to the masses? Before, when you see a soldier coming, you will give way. But now, our soldiers are everywhere. You see the way we are reducing ourselves to zero. I hope that God will just change our mentality. Because our mentality, both the leaders and rulers, all of us, our mentality, I don't know where we are going. I'm telling you, may God revive us as human beings. Let us do as human beings. We are not doing as human beings at all. Thank you.
Thank you, John. But let me supply you that word. We are going forward. We are going forward. We could be trudging now, but, we are going forward. Hello.
Hello, sorry. Hello. This is Karawale Kasim, please. Kifli Mogalu is one of the best in this country. And this is the one I've been saying that we should stop saying it. How do you get Kifli Mogalu when we always talk about the North and South? Tribalism. Everybody is through with tribalism. And when we are playing tribalistic game, the North will always win. They have the number. So we need to stop this tribalistic issue if we want good people. I've listened to Chris Mogalu. He's one of the best, and I will vote for him. Thank you.
Thank you for that, too. Can take, we still have some time here to take some calls. Austin, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still there.
Okay. What do you have to say?
Yes, North and South has come to stay because the president has also. Unfortunately, so people are first of all loyal to their various ethnic group now before patriotism to the country, and the president is making it louder on a daily basis. It has never been this bad before. So let us not play to the gallery by saying we should remove the North and the South. Why is it that when it comes to the time that power should shift to the South, that is when we talk about competency? It can come from anywhere. Atiku has come out to say that the president can come from anywhere. How could he have said that after the North has taken 8 years in office, want to be presidential candidate under the PDP again? It is not fair to say that the president can come from anywhere. It has come from somewhere before. Let it also come from somewhere.
So we should respect the zoning arrangement.
And around the country. Even if you look at the question, it talks about national loyalty and national. It is an arrangement.
Well, the line is not so clear from us.
Sorry, Tayo, please. In 2011,
Well, let's give some others some chance. Let me take one more call before we leave the studio. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
It's already from me, as the national campaign manager for Portugal, I'm talking about us. If you need any zonal campaign manager, you can call on me and we discuss. But I want you to realize something.
What's that?
Okorocha has tried it before now. He had to go to the ruling party to vie for governorship. So also it's a big election. Imagine to have tried it to the SDP. He had to go to a prominent party before he established his, he fulfilled his call. Why Mogalu not try from the lower kingdom of this thing in one of these parties so that I can rise to the top? Have a nice day.
Thank you for your call there. That's some advice to Mogalu. Austin, we have to go, but before I exit the studio this morning, this is saying a happy birthday to one of us, Toyin Fashalojo, also known as INT'L. Today's our birthday, it's the 9th of October, and I'm saying and wishing her a happy birthday from the entire management and staff of 32 FM 94.9. Toyin, congratulations, happy birthday to you. Austin Udumu.
Yes, we wish INT'L the very best. We pray that God prosper our way and enlarge our course in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
God bless Nigeria.
God bless you too. Thank you for sharing your morning. God bless Nigeria. Once again, I am Olutayo Gwade, and bye for now.
Heaven made a radio, gave it a soul, and called